Part 1. Read all numbers correctly. Fin, feel, fail, fine, sniff, half, fill in, finish, feels fine, 5, 4, form, February, full front, friendly, office, if, sofa, wife, profile, love, telephone, photograph, beautiful, photographer, comfortable, myself, after, soft, Mr. Puffin, Phillips, difficult, feel, fine, fail, few, live, health, Hera, living, have, fairy November, 5, village living, love, Philly, Philly, driving, lovely, fan, life, lives, lives, Victor, arrive, we, wheel, west, wine, will, when, would, everywhere, well, why, sandwich, wet weather while, 12, Wendy went white wine, 20, which, were, quiet, what, was, were, quickly, watch, were, sweet, walk, away, Gwen, warm, railway, squirrels, wonderful, joke, jack, jam, jazz, jers. Part 2. Read this news. Wellington, the New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said on Monday, November 2029, the country will move into a system of living with the COVID-19 virus later this week, despite the new Omicron variant posing a fresh health threat to the world. There were no cases of Omicron variants in New Zealand at this stage, but the developing global situation showed why a cautious approach was needed at the borders. She said Omicron is a reminder the risk that still exists at our borders. Ardern said the news and conference, and New Zealand has some of the toughest border controls in the world and plans to keep borders closed to most international travelers for a further 5 months. It also introduced fresh border measure for a traveler from 9 southern African nations up on the weekend, announcing that only citizens from these countries can travel to New Zealand and will have stay in state quarantine for 14 days. Ardern said a lot of evidence still needed to gather to know the impact of the Omicron variant. It may impact on our vaccines, but it may not. It may be more severe or it may be more mild than Delta. We simply don't know. Ardem said the Director General of Health, Ashley Bloomfield, said the authorities were looking at the whether more needed to be done at the borders to keep Omicron away. It's really just looking to keep it Omicron out while we learn more about it. Bloomfield told the reporter at the new conference. New Zealand moves into the new traffic light system from a Friday that rates region as a red, orange, or green depending on their level of exposure to COVID-19 vaccinations rate. Auckland, the epicenter of the country Delta outbreak, will start red and making face masks mandatory and putting limits on gatherings at a public place. New Zealand has had about 11,000 cases so far and 43 related deaths. Part 3. Read this story. Long ago, the mice had the General Council to consider what the measure they could take to outwit their common enemy, the cat. Some said and some said that, but at last a young mouse got up and said he had a proposal to make, which he thought would meet the case. You will agree, said he, that our chief danger consists in the sly and treacherous manner in which the enemy approaches us. Now, if we could receive some signal of her approach, we could easily escape from her. I venture, therefore, to propose that a small bee be browsered and attached by the ribbon round the neck of the cat. By this means, we should always know when she was about, could easily retire while she was in the neighborhood. This proposal met with the general applause until an old mouse got up and said, "This very well, but who is the cat?" The mice looked at the one another and nobody spoke. Then the old mouse said, "It's easy to propose impossible remedy.